This person claims that this AI-generated image is going viral and women are in fact seething due to it. They are so enraged, as you can see by their furious comments. It is so hard to tell between AI-generated images versus real women these days. Whoa, no way! It can make Asians! What the fuck is that? AI porn is disgusting. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't find anything wrong if you think AI porn is hot. I really don't care. In fact, I find anime characters hot, and that's probably just as, if not more, degenerate behavior. The only reason why I'm judging this person is due to their god-awful take about how women, yes, half of the human population, is going to be over because of robot porn. First of all, those pictures of women are still women. Like, you just downgraded from real woman to pictures of women. Bro, I think you're the one done for. And number two, saying it's over for women because a new version of porn exists is literally short for saying, I only value women for sexual reasons. You could have made it a way to talk about how the concept of AI-generated porn is interesting, since it's been a known fact that the porn industry is exploitative. Listen, I don't like the porn industry, but it's pretty obvious that it wouldn't be impacted by this. Porn has been free for ages. In fact, there was a whole discussion when OnlyFans first got popular a few years back, in which people said, why would you buy nudes when it's free online? But guess what? The app is still thriving and popular today. Now that we established that AI porn is not anything super groundbreaking against the porn industry, I want to be talking about the real issue that arises with AI porn, and that comes with deepfakes. Deepfakes have been around for a few years now. The first instant that I've personally seen of deepfakes was back in 2018, in a video talking about the future of technology and how our society's way of not being willing to do more research about things can be used really badly to one's reputation, especially in the future if deepfakes become super realistic. Their example was using Barack Obama, and using AI, they were able to copy his voice and appearance in order to create a somewhat convincing video of the US president at the time.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources.
This is a real issue, especially when it comes to figures with an already negative reputation, since people would automatically assume that they would have said that even if they didn't. Now imagine the concept of people mistaking a masked AI of someone, except replace it with damaging porn, because this is exactly what happened last month on social media. So a Twitch streamer with the user Qtcinderella went onto an H3H3 podcast talking about her experience with how people are making porn of her without her consent and posting it online, which has been very damaging to her because people thought it was really her, therefore kept spreading around acting as if it was a leak, as well as DMing her about these images and being really gross about it. For example, streamer Sweet Anita was talking about how she was constantly refusing and saying no to being in sex work, yet despite that she was still sexualized and made to be in the porn industry anyways by someone creating an AI replica of her body and making porn of it. Now you would think something like this would be common sense to understand, but surprisingly enough, many of the people in the H3H3 podcast were laughing at Qtcinderella and made jokes about her experience by interrupting her midway with, quote, sad emotional background music, and then laughing at her while she was telling her experience. It's actually insane to the amount of people talking about how they don't understand what's the big deal with making porn of someone without their consent. So let me quickly address many of the arguments or conversations I've seen in this whole situation. Number one, it's just the internet and you're a celebrity. They could potentially be talking about the whole like fangirl, fan guy, like stalkerish type vibe, but the difference between liking a celebrity, therefore buying their merch and having items about them, is different from a deepfake porn, because one is something the celebrity consented to while the other didn't. Even if it's a not safe for work image, there's definitely a difference between owning a naked Markiplier calendar that he personally made versus masturbating to corn of someone and they don't even know the material of that exists, okay? There are some fucked up people out there, and I already know that there's just gonna be a business towards creating AIs of everyday people because it's the corn industry. The standards of the corn industry are like down here. Actually, not even down here. It's off screen, in fact. The only reason why right now there's mainly only deepfakes of celebrities is simply because that's just the easiest to make. There are already thousands or millions of pictures of a celebrity online, therefore it would be easier to make an AI by feeding it images of the celebrity. Now that we are going to an era where so many people have social media accounts, years from now this sort of stuff is definitely going to happen to real people. And what do you do when this sort of stuff is put into the hands of the wrong person? Do you know how easy it would be for someone to make a deepfake and then send it to that person's family, friends, or workplace? Or even worse, blackmail them in order to get something that they want from them? The people who actually cannot wrap their head around on why this is a bad thing need to seek help and stay 20 feet away from any human civilization. Okay, this second argument isn't actually that bad, it's just a pet peeve of mine. And it's when someone says something really disrespectful or sexist or whatever, and then a person replies saying, how would you feel this happened to your mother, sister, or girlfriend? Like, it's kind of weird in a sense that the person doesn't understand what's wrong with a girl being R-worded or her body being exploited until someone says, quote, imagine if that was your daughter. Because you should be able to feel empathy for the girl regardless if she has any connection to you or to another man. Now, this is a pretty good analogy to explain to a guy, like, what's so wrong about this certain action happening. So there's nothing wrong with saying this argument, it's just kind of weird that that's what it takes for some people to understand. But moving on, if you didn't know, a major reason why people know that a bunch of female Twitch streamers were used for deepfake porn is because a streamer with the name of Atrioc was exposed for watching deepfake AI porn of other Twitch streamers. And the reason why so many people found this weird is not just because he has a wife. I believe that the whole watching porn while you're dating is cheating belief is different between all couples. So just talk to your partner on whether or not you're comfortable with that. But the reason why this was weird was because all the girls that he was watching porn of were people he actually knows. They were like essentially friends and other people in the Twitch community, basically equivalent to coworkers. Therefore, the fact he was watching porn of people he actually knows / are acquainted with, but they never created this porn material, meaning that it was made without their consent, is really uncomfortable. When asked, Atrioc stated in his apology video that he just accidentally came across it while being on Pornhub, and his quote, curiosity got the best of him, so he paid to see the images of the female streamers, but after everyone saw his tabs, he now regrets it and it's very embarrassing for him. Now let's be real, it's kind of hard to defend this sort of explanation because the best case scenario if you encounter this sort of situation is just to notify your friends, DM them, and explain what you found rather than keep going in secret. Especially if you think this is a messed up and bad thing, wouldn't it make sense to report it? Because even if you buy the pictures just to see if it actually is your friends, you're still supporting the person by giving them your money. Now, regardless of whether or not he was genuine about accidentally finding the corn website, it ended up spreading the website to everyone who saw the situation, which is why now everyone knows this sort of content is made of them. This is the exact situation I was talking about, and I know what someone is probably going to say, well, it's not the same because they're all internet celebrities, but here's the thing, I don't really care how many followers they have, they're still all normal human beings with feelings and can still feel violated. Not to mention, it's actually like low-key worse that they're celebrities because that means their news are going to be spread faster and to bigger audiences. If this sort of deepfake is available to the public, it's actually going to pose a really disgusting problem. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of AI porn defenders, and after looking into many arguments, the most common one I've seen is people stating it's not that deep or that it really doesn't matter since AI porn is not real. So this poses the question, if it's not a real video of the person, is it okay? No, and I'm going to explain the hole in this argument right now. For example, would the fact that this isn't actually real also apply to deep AI porn of real children? Because it's true that it's not real, but it's still violating and disgusting to imagine a person seeing a real child and then manually taking thousands of pictures of them and putting them in an AI to create a video or image of them doing adult content. Because it's not quick to make an AI like this about a specific person. Think about this in the headspace of the person creating this sort of content. They had to have found the real child to an extent attractive for them to then make AI porn of them. If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. I'm going to put in the more controversial take. I don't think AI porn should be done to any person. period, regardless if they are a regular person on the street or a famous celebrity. Because if we allow people to do stuff like this to celebrities simply because it's fake and not really them, they're just gonna keep going and do this to regular people as well, since, quote, it's fake and not really them as well. Personally speaking, I don't find anything wrong with people doing AI porn of just a random generated adult. It's basically the same as like a fictional character, you know what I mean? My issue is people trying to use AI deepfakes as a way to bypass the moral rule that you should not take images of naked people without their consent and do sexual acts with them. The thing I find really gross about this situation is regarding the people who don't see anything wrong with it. If you've been on the internet, a lot of the times when girls do OnlyFans or some sort of sex work, they're usually shamed a lot to the point where people say they're no longer human, they're just objects, which doesn't even make any sense because personally speaking, I never saw a chair twerk before. But on a serious note, there was this viral post recently with 18.6 million views, and oh my, holy shit, our society is doomed. I'm sorry. The post showed a picture of the Twitch streamer Pokimane and a tweet she made. Basically, the joke is that they post hypocrites, and they're stating that she's a hypocrite for saying not to sexualize someone without their consent, yet she consensually posts a picture of herself being attractive. Not sure what the correlation is, but it's even funnier that based on his interaction with people, he definitely does not know when consent is. He even offered to debate someone about it on a live stream. Oh my god, how can someone be like that? When it's very obvious that posting a selfie of yourself is not the same as consenting to someone creating and selling realistic porn into their image. A lot of times anti-feminists will be mad at women for saying women are not objects and commonly debunk it by saying women aren't objects, yet women will do this, and then their evidence would be like a woman doing a TikTok dance or something. Now here's the thing, objectively speaking, the argument doesn't even make any sense, because objects can't even dance. So technically speaking, when a woman is dancing, she's literally proving she's not an object, but whatever. For the sake of a stronger argument, let's just ignore that part and just explain the actual meaning. So when a woman says the phrase women are not objects, they're not saying women are not objects if they do this or if they don't do this. What they're saying is that women are not objects regardless of what they do. That is what the phrase means, and it's true. No matter what a person does, they are still human. Therefore, when a woman says, oh, women are not objects, yet she likes to be sexual or she likes to dance, that's not her being a hypocrite. The only reason why the woman is supposedly seen as an object is because of the people viewing her that way. For example, if a man and a woman were to have sex with tons of different people and a third person saw that and thought of the woman as a bad person while the man is a good person, that is not the fault of the woman. That is simply just their biased view. Because both the man and the woman did the same thing, it's just based on your view is how you think of them. A lot of the times in the porn industry, it's usually run by men doing the selling or running the company, such as Pornhub. But one of the major instances that I've seen of this was Andrew Tate and Russell Hartley, in which they got exposed for exploiting sex workers. Russell Hartley was more straightforward. He offered to help these women by teaching them how to sell their body and get clients, while literally taking 50% of their earnings and making suspicious behavior in the background. I won't go too much into detail because it'll make this video too long, but if you are interested, Curtis Connor made 2 entire videos about him, one about just him being a douche, and the other is just him low-key committing crimes. So if you're interested, I would recommend watching his video about the whole situation, but frankly, it's old news. Whereas Andrew Tate has a more serious case. He got accused of sexually exploiting 6 women and is having a human trafficking and R-word investigation in Romania. Now these 2 are very good examples because not only do they have a big audience, both of them are coaches for mainly an audience targeted for men, and they build their account and brand almost entirely of just talking about their dislikes for certain things women do. Everyone knew that they hated used women, and they didn't like it when women made money off of sex work such as OnlyFans. That is why it came to a surprise to everyone that they were in fact making tons of money off the porn industry that they supposedly hated when women did that. Okay, now that I think about it, that is actually not big of a surprise. But now you realize how this common unconscious belief is a problem. To these people, when a woman sells her own body, then she's a whore, an object, and doesn't deserve basic respect. Yet when a man sells other people's bodies, then suddenly he's a genius and a businessman. This mindset is very connected to the new AI porn situation, and I'll explain why. As I already mentioned, all the women that had this AI porn made of them was created without their consent, and a third party was making money off of their image. The reason why a lot of these dudes don't see anything wrong with this is because it's the exact same situation as a guy making money off of having a lot of girls, like a pimp. A lot of people would consider this a business. Of course, by definition, it is a business, a messed up one, but if you think about it, OnlyFans is a business too. But if I were to say that, so many people would disagree with me and be against that thought, yet be perfectly fine with saying that the guy in this example is making money with the business. A very exploitive business, but they wouldn't mention that. So that's what I find very interesting about this whole thing, because at the end of the day, this isn't anything new. The women who are exploited for the pornography and speak out about it is still going to get hate, as well as the women who decide to make pornography content consensually. It's the same process and situation, but this time we're just going to have a new form of it, and it's going to be AI porn. But the reason why this is so bad is because it's literally impossible to avoid. Not saying that the previous situations, such as leaked nudes, were okay, of course, but even so, no matter how impossible a situation is to avoid, there's still going to be people who find a way to blame the victim somehow. For hell's sake, I've already seen people victim blaming the Twitch streamers that got AI porn made over them, but it's apparently their fault for being an internet celebrity and showing their face on camera. As if, even if they didn't show their face, they wouldn't be sexualized. Bro, people will literally scream at you in first-person shooter games that you sound like a girl. Not to mention, there's already instances of people who are completely faceless yet still get sexualized. In this video, I've mainly been talking about the negative news with people who are in support of this, but I do want to talk about what's been going on with some people who are against AI porn. As there was an AI porn group, which I will not be saying the name of, was trying to raise a goal of $25,000 using Kickstarter and ended up raising $56,000, which was literally double the amount they were initially trying to raise. However, due to the situation, many people were against this concept and started speaking out about it on social media platforms, since it's immoral to make porn of someone without them knowing and then sell it to the 867 people, oh Jesus, who were signing up to pay for this product. Therefore, Kickstarter and Patreon started thinking about what kind of AI-based projects they will allow, as their whole niche was the fact they were supporting artists and creatives. AI projects like this were against the rules due to the fact they take other people's art to make their products, or in this case, other people's identities to make non-consensual porn. Therefore, due to the backlash, they decided to shut down the group's campaign and the money was returned back to the donors. This was actually a development I wasn't expecting, since usually companies don't really mind all that much as long as they get money. So it's very interesting that they actually paid attention to their audience. So this makes me wonder if the fact that Patreon and Kickstarter being against AI porn would help slow down the movement, since they are a very popular crowdfunding website for artists. But honestly, none of us can really know for sure. Everything I've been seeing on the internet for the past few weeks regarding AI porn has been crazy. You would think that after I experienced this much brain rot, I would hate people. But personally speaking, I have hope for mankind. I really like people. And I think in the grand scheme of things, when you go into the real world, the majority of people know this is a bad and immoral thing to do. But due to the fact that social media exists, we're exposed to more bad people. The way I cope with seeing something completely bad shit insane on social media is I like to take a step back and say to myself that these people on Twitter and TikTok are just not real. I just refuse to believe they are. You know, like the 5 stages of grief grab, and step 1 is denial? Yeah, that's where I am right now, and I refuse to step away. But in conclusion, that's basically what's been happening the past month. I'm glad you guys enjoyed or were interested in what I thought about this situation. I would like if you comment down what you guys think is going to happen in the future regarding AI porn, since I'm pretty intrigued on how society as a whole will react to AI porn when it is talked about more on the mainstream, such as the news, rather than it being pushed aside as internet drama. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye!